Practice reading and listening. The Grumpy King. One day lived a grumpy king. He never used to laugh nor allow anyone in the kingdom to laugh. One day, a small boy couldn't control his laughter. Later, scared of the punishment, he thought of a plan. He wrote a funny story and converted it into drama. Then he went to palace and asked the king, "May I present my drama to you?" The king let him do it. Then the boy started the play. In the end, he became too funny as part of the story which made the king laugh. All people present in the court were amazed. The king then allowed everybody to laugh. Everyone then lived happily thereafter. Practice reading and listening. The story of Lord Ganesha. One day, a god named Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva, was getting ready for her bath and needed someone to guard her chamber. Therefore, she met a beautiful young boy from the sandal wood from her body. She gave him a light by sprinkling the holy Ganges water on him and entrusted him with guarding the door. While she was away, Lord Shiva returned and was surprised to find a little boy standing at the entrance to his fire chamber. When he tried to enter, the boy blocked his path. "Who are you and why are you blocking my path?" demanded Lord Shiva. "No one enter my mother chamber," declared the boy boldly. "Taken aback," Lord Shiva replied, "Step away. I have the right to enter my white chamber." But the young and courageous boy did not move but stood his ground. Not knowing that this was his own son, Lord Shiva, who was quick to anger, grew in a rage. Not used to be this way, he cut off the boy's head. She saw her son lying dead like that. She was overcome with grief. She was filled with both anger and sorrow. Seeing this, Lord Shiva sent his soldier to fetch the head of the first beast that they saw. The men arose and finally came upon an elephant. They immediately looked the head to Lord Shiva, who quickly attached it on to the body of the slain boy and gave him life once again. To further appease his grief-stricken wife, he promised that her son would be worshipped first before all other gods. Even today, at the entrance of all temples, one would find the idol of the elephant-headed god, Lord Ganesha. Practice reading and listening. The eagle in a storm. Did you know that an eagle knows when a storm is approaching long before it breaks? The eagle will fly to some high spot and wait for the wind to come. When the storm hits, it sets its wings so that the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. While the storm rages below, the eagle is soaring above it. The eagle does not escape the storm. It simply uses the storm to lift it higher. It arises on the wind that brings the storm. When the storm of life comes upon us, and all of us will experience them, We can write about them by setting our mind and our belief toward God. The storm do not have to overcome us. We can allow God's power to lift us about them. God enables us to ride the wind of the storm that brings sickness, tragedy, failure, and disappointment in our lives. We can soar above the storm. Practice reading and listening. The ant and the grasshopper. One summer day, a merry grasshopper was dancing, singing, and playing his violin with all his heart. He saw an ant passing by bearing along with great toil a water to store for the winter. "Come and sing with me instead of working so hard," said the grasshopper. "Let's have fun together." "I must store food for the winter," said the ant, "and I advise you to do the same." "Don't worry about winter, it's still very far away," said the grasshopper, laughing at him. But the ant wouldn't listen and continued his toil. When the winter came, the starving grasshopper went to the ant house and humbly begged for something to eat. "If you had listened to my advice in the summer, you would not now be in need," said the ant. "I'm afraid you will have to go super late to bed," and he closed the door. It is best to prepare for the day of necessity. Practice reading and listening. Mother's Day. A man stopped at a flower shop to order some flowers to be given to his mother, who lived 200 miles away. As he got out of his car, he noticed a young girl sitting on the curb sobbing. He asked her what was wrong, and she replied, I wanted to buy a red rose for my mother, but I only have 75 cents, and a rose costs $2. The man smiled and said, Come on in with me. I'll buy you a rose. Bought a little girl her rose and ordered his own mother flowers. As they were leaving, he offered the girl a ride home. She said, Yes, please, you can take me to my mother. She directed him to a cemetery, where she placed the rose on a freshly dug grave. The man returned to the flower shop, canceled the wire order, picked up a bouquet, and drove the 200 miles to his mother's house. Practice reading and listening. The grasshopper. One fine sunny day in winter, a grasshopper was basking in the warm sun. But he was very hungry, as he had not eaten anything since last night. So he looked about to find something to soothe his hunger. Suddenly he saw a peon carrying grain into the hold. He went up to the ant and asked humbly, Can you please spare a few grain for me? I haven't eaten anything since yesterday. So I am almost starving to death. One of the ants asked the grasshopper, What were you doing the whole summer? Why didn't you store up the food for the winter season? The grasshopper replied, Truly speaking, I spent all the summer singing songs and that's why I couldn't store anything. The ant checked out, smiled, and remarked, "Then done the winter away." The grasshopper pulled a long face and walked away. So we say, work is real worship. Practice reading and listening. The fox and the grant. One a fox and a grant became friends. So the fox invited the grant to dinner. The grant accepted the invitation and reached the fox place at sunset. The fox had prepared soup for his mate. But as we all know that foxes are cunning by nature, he served the soup in flat dishes. So he himself left the grand share of his tongue enjoying it released a lot. But the crane could not enjoy it at all with his long beak and had to get back home hungry. The true fox felt extremely anxious. After a few days, the crane invited the fox to dine in with him. The fox reached his place well in time. The crane gave him a warm welcome and served the soup in a jug with a long and narrow neck. So the crane enjoyed the soup with a great relish using his long beak. The fox's mouth couldn't reach the soup through the narrow neck of the jug. He had to return home hungry. Now he realized that he had been repaid for his behavior with the grant. Practice reading and listening. One day a saint, while going somewhere with his disciples, saw a pound full of fishes on the way. He stopped there and started filling his mouth with fish. The disciples followed their guru. The saint said nothing to them and after some time moved ahead. Then they reached another pond where there were no fishes. The saint stood at its shore and started taking out the fishes he had swallowed. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed and also tried to vomit out the fishes. But after many attempts, they could only take out some dead fishes. At this, the saint said, "Fool, when you didn't know how to keep the fishes alive in the stomach, then why did you imitate me?" It truly said that never imitate anyone. Practice reading and listening. The teacher and the student. Once a teacher had a disciple who used to live in a hermitage. One day, the disciple was going somewhere. He hadn't gone too far when suddenly it started raining cats and dogs. He returned and told his problem to his teacher. The teacher said, "You should have faith in God. He will save you from all problems." The disciple obeyed and resumed his journey. He kept reciting the name of God and cleared all the hurdles. Next day, the teacher had to go on the same route. When he reached a deep drain, he doubted whether God would save him or not. The teacher got drawn. Does doubt drown you and faith saves you? Practice Practice reading and listening. The lazy boy. Anthony was a very lazy boy and always used to postpone things. One day his father called him and made him understand the value of time, that one should always do things on time. Anthony promised his father that he would never postpone things. One day he came to know that he had won the first prize in singing competition that was held the previous month. He was asked to collect the prize the same day. He didn't care and went to collect the prize the next day. But the prize became useless for him, as it was a ticket to a circus show, which was held the previous day. Anthony learned a lesson for this incident. Practice reading and listening. The Old Lion. Once upon a time there was a lion that grew so old that he was unable to kill any prey for his food. So he said to himself, I must do something to stay my stomach ill. I will die of starvation. He kept thinking, and at last an idea clicked him. He decided to lie down in the cave pretending to be ill, and then whosoever will come to inquire about his health will become his prey. The old lion put his pig plan into practice and it started working. Many of his well-wishers got killed, but evil is short-lived. One day a fox came to visit ailing lion. Our foxes are clever by nature. The fox stood at the mouth of the cave and looked about. His senses worked and he came to know the reality. So he called out to the lion from outside and said, How are you, sir? The lion replied, I am not feeling well at all. But why don't you come inside? Then the fox replied, I would love to come in, sir, but on seeing our footprint going to your cave and none of coming out, I would be foolish enough to come in. Saying so, the fox went to alert the other animals. Practice reading and listening. To traveler. It was high summer. The sun was extremely hot. Two travelers were going along the dusty road that had no tree along its side, looking for some shelter from the hot sun. They saw a tree with big leaves and branches spread like an umbrella. They placed their belongings on the ground and sat in the cool picset for the tree. After taking some rest, one traveler said to the other, What a useless tree it is! It bears no fruit at all. Hearing this, the tree felt pinched and burst out. You ungrateful soul! On one hand, you are taking shelter in my cool shade from the burning heat of the sun, and on the other hand, you are calling me useless. Get up and leave the place immediately to be scrolled again.